Tough one, man. First half, not enough urgency, not enough intensity to want to score, to want to create chances. I know the field's slow and it's not as easy as it looks to move the ball quick, but at the same time we need just more from everybody in general of wanting to go to goal, wanting to play fast, move it quick. We were just too slow in general. And then we came out pretty well, I thought, but then you give up a goal 2 minutes after you score, and that completely kills your momentum. So not happy with that, and then it's technically 2 set pieces we give up, and we work on those all the time. So we'll have to look at it, but it's not one individual. It's not single people's mistakes. It's the group as a unit, so we need to do better.
Cole, was maybe the air taken out of the game with Pricey going down?
Yeah, it hurts. We know he's been dealing with some nagging injuries that weren't terrible, but in that same area, and I don't want to speculate exactly what it was, but just by the looks of it, it didn't look good, and the way that he reacted, and that does kind of, hurt you as a team in terms of he did bring some energy on, and we almost scored off one of his set pieces, but at the same time, you have to be able to deal with those things. If some of your best players get hurt, guys have to respond and be able to still go on throughout the game and be able to push on and keep going forward with intensity. But I think it definitely it hurt us when we saw him go down.
I guess kind of talking about the injury bug, it's like 6 guys were questionable heading in, 2 more were out. Even, I guess, at this early stage, does it kind of feel a bit cruel that, you guys are missing so many key pieces?
Yeah, it does, but at the same time, guys, like I said, have to step up. We have a big squad for a reason, and I think the coaches wanted that is depth and competition this year, so that guys are pushing each other for places. So if guys are going down, other people's opportunities come about. You never want to see injuries, but I think all of us together, when we have to step in for some of our big-time players, we have to do it in a better manner. But yeah, it does suck with the injuries. I don't know what it is. I mean, the fields have not been very good. I'm not using that as an excuse, but we've been training on bad fields, and that field tonight was not very good either. So, but both teams have to play on it. It's not an excuse of why we lost, but guys are getting injured a lot, and you do wonder why.
After the San Jose match, Coach Frazier talked about turning half chances into real chances, and it seemed like that was at least going to happen in the second half. Do you think it's just a matter of keep trying to execute, or you feel like there's something missing to turn those half chances into real chances?
One of the toughest parts about starting a season, I'd say for most teams, is the execution. As the season goes on, you start to get those final passes on the right foot, just the final touch of preparation, ready to score goals. I thought we had moments where we got into good spots and almost had a couple goals. I mean, it almost fell to Diego's head. We hit the crossbar. There's a couple more where we just got to find that other pass to upgrade the shot instead of taking it on yourself. But I'd say we're creating okay chances, but especially at home, like after going to Europe and seeing what it was like for a team to play at home and how much you dominate the other team in terms of shots and just you're on top of a team, I think we can do that better as a whole. And we know that we're going to work on that in training. We have to demand more of ourselves, and everybody has to come in with that mentality that we're going to work super hard to do that, because this place should be a fortress, and it has been for us. There's just 2 games at home where we haven't played terribly, but stuff isn't always bouncing your way, and we have to be able to respond to that.
I guess the good news is you guys are getting noticed with Darren getting a U20 call-up. Diego's getting got his first minutes tonight and got called into Chile. I guess, can that be maybe a positive, getting some international experience and, helping? Obviously, you guys are going to have the game against Austin. They'll be gone for that, which would be huge. But I guess moving forward, kind of maybe building off of that momentum for the attackers and just having that international experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it always brings confidence to get a call up to the national team. I think for any player, when you've put in the performances to get called up as one of the best players for your nation, I think that's always a huge boost of confidence. So, congrats to both of them, and hopefully they go off and do well. Diego's kind of got back into that Chile squad, so really happy for him, and he can gain valuable time with good players. So when he does come back, he's ready to go and fit after coming off the injury. So it's good for him, and Yappy with the U20 World Cup. with mine being canceled, I know how much it means to be a part of that squad. So for him to go into that last camp before the World Cup, I think it's huge for him, and he's earned it. He's looked for an 18-year-old. There's not many strikers throughout the league that are starting games, and I think he's played almost every minute of every game so far. So you do want him to score some goals and finish off chances, but he has looked dangerous for an 18-year-old, and he's deserved that call-up. But, yeah, like I said, guys are going to have to step up. We've got a lot of pace for guys that maybe haven't played as much minutes that can fill in those spots, and hopefully they're pretty dangerous for Austin.
Just kind of going off of that here, talking about Yappy here being his teammate with everything going on recently, him leading the line and being called up to the national team. After 4 games, do you think he's feeling a little bit of that pressure right now?
It's tough when you're kind of put straight into the pressure of having to score the goals as an 18-year-old. I know it's not easy, but I think some of the best young players in the world have kind of got thrown into those situations and they've had to adapt to it. I think he's done pretty well for an 18-year-old, and it's not easy. But he doesn't look like an 18-year-old out there. He kind of looks similar to my age, where maybe there's a little bit of rawness, but he's done pretty well. He's holding off guys. He's turning people. But yeah, I mean, he's probably not very happy that he hasn't scored a goal yet. But at the same time, I think he's helped us get into many good spots and helped us create many good attacks. So, we're happy with him so far. I'm trying to just help him any way that I can because I've been in those same shoes, even though it wasn't a number 9 position like you have to score the goals. But, I've had similar sorts of pressure where I have to be scoring goals. So I can help him any way that I can, and I try to feed him at least so that he can kind of get that first one.
Last week, or a couple weeks ago, we talked about your kind of role within the offense, but something like you said, just getting the ball should have those opportunities. So do you guys think that you're moving the ball from, obviously, possession into the attacking third the way that you expected coming into the year, or have you had challenges with kind of the game plan and executing things that you expected?
I think the game plan and execution is clear of what we want to do, but we did talk about this right now is I don't think it's been quick enough to move the ball where we want to get. We're getting into some of the spots that we want to get it into, but we're not going with enough speed, so it doesn't really feel like we were a couple of years ago where you get into a pocket and then you're breaking the line and you're going at speed and then you're getting behind them. We're very slow with once we get in that pocket, we're not really going anywhere with it. So I think there needs to be more of that execution and more of guys just wanting to go forward and taking risks is what it is. I mean, yeah, as the season goes along, we're going to get just better at it. Guys are going to get better connections of knowing where people are and finding the spots and the timing of things. But, we don't have all season to be waiting for this, so we have to get at it during the week of training, and then as we go into Austin next week, we need to be executing those chances.
Yeah, on your goal, you did find that space, so you needed to get happen. But how important was that line-skipping pass, just getting a breath of air and just making the defense react to you to even find those pockets of space?
Yeah, I mean, those passes when we can get any of our attacking players in 1v1s, I think is a huge benefit for us. And I don't know. I don't think we did it quite enough where we're getting guys with clear 1v1s. And when you did, you see what happens. But there wasn't too many times where we could run at somebody with speed, or at least you're creating a shot at goal. Most of the times they always had 2 guys back, and that's because we moved the ball too slow and we allowed them to get back. So I think we just need to be quicker moving the ball and get guys isolated so that they can do their job and go 1v1.
So just a similar question. I mean, on a positive note, the team was able to get its first goal of the season. You got your first goal since coming back. Like, what do you take from that, like, to apply and move forward, like going into Austin to be able to, I guess, continue that breath of fresh air to get those goals to keep coming?
Yeah, I mean, it does give the team confidence knowing that we can score. We've had plenty of chances where we could have before this, but I mean, especially for me, monkey off the bat, get the first one of the season is always nice, and then it hopefully flows on from there. So it gives me plenty of confidence going into Austin that I can continue to build on that or help set other people up if maybe they're coming towards me a little more to see that I'm dangerous. So. Yeah, I think the team is confident in terms of creating chances, but we got to work on it throughout the week and just bury them. You got to be ruthless, and I bet Robin will say that in his press conference. There's too many times where we're not being ruthless enough of just going 1v1 and creating your chance and burying it. And you need that, especially as attackers. That's why you get paid the big bucks, So we got to continue to do that.
Cole, at the start of the game, during the starting 11, felt like you were holding a kit jersey to probably your biggest fan and the longest standing fan in this club. want to say to her, she's taken ill, you're aware of her circumstances.
Yeah.
Share your sentiments.
Yeah.
Please.
She's the one thing that could put a smile on my face tonight. You know, I miss her. I wish she could be out of train. She's kind of that bright light that you walk up to training. Her and Mark Johnson are always there waving and saying hi. And, you know, when we found out the news that, you know, she got ill, all of us were devastated. But we know that she can stay strong and fight through it, and we're staying positive with her. And just to be able to show her any type of gratitude for what she's done for the club in terms of support, to be that loyal and be there since day one, it means a lot to us. So, you know, showing that jersey, I was trying to find it after the game. I told the kit man when I score, I'll come get it. But I think it was with C38, so couldn't find it. But, you know, we love her as a team, and we're going to try to do better for her throughout the season and hopefully get some wins for her. So hopefully they sort it so she can be watching at the hospital. But, you know, we need to make her happy with a couple wins and stuff like that. But, yeah, like I said, she's probably the one thing that can put a smile on my face tonight is just, you know, just to let her know that we're with her.